Did you know that the new fireTEK firmware 6.5B comes with 3 new features? Safe mode, module ID memory, and auto identification. We'll go through that in this video here. This year I picked up 2 new modules that I'm really excited about. The module here on the left is a full-up 48FX module with all the bells and whistles. It has external antenna. There's no antenna connected right now. Time code, CAN bus or 2-wire, DMX output. It has wireless capability with the remote, Bluetooth capability, and internal GPS. This module here also has external antenna, time code, and it has the push button power option rather than the key. What I want to show first here, if we connect a network with this module, it's going to tell us here to power on the slave, so we'll start this up. This here is running 6.3 F1. Now when this starts up here, it's going to ask for the ID. I'm going to set this to ID 6. And it's going to create a network. It says 1 slave connected. The module has gone into test state. Test state indicates that there is a network connected. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. We're going to restart the module. Again, it's running 6.3 F1. Now it doesn't remember the ID that we set, so we're going to again set this to 6, which is what this module is going to be used as in the next show. Without a connection to the remote, the module goes into, rather than a state of test, it goes into a state of test mode. There's a distinction there between test and test mode, whether it's connected to a network or not. Now we're going to start up this module here. The push button, it has 6.5 B2 firmware loaded into it. We're going to set this to ID 7. And it goes to a state of safe mode. In firmware 6.5B, test mode is changed to safe mode. That provides a distinction between test state and test mode state. It's now test state and safe mode state. Safe mode without a network connection, and test if it is connected to a network. The second feature of 6.5B firmware is module ID memory. We have set these to ID 6 and ID 7. We're going to go ahead and turn these off. Now let's say we're setting this up out in the field. We're doing a manual show. I'm going to go start these back up. Again, this is running 6.3 F1. It's going to ask for our ID. It has not remembered that this was set to channel 6 or ID 6. We'll start this one up here. It's running the 6.5 B2 firmware. It has recalled the last manually selected ID, ID 7, and after 10 seconds, it will advance into safe mode. Now, what if you want to change this ID? It's simply restarting the module. When it asks for the ID to be selected, hit the blue button, and it will go back to 0, and then you can select. In this case, we'll go to ID 3 and hit the green button, and it is now set to ID 3. The third feature is what we call auto identification. What we're going to do is load a script into this module that's running the 6.5B firmware with pyro ignition control. With the module turned off, I'm going to connect the computer. I've got pyro ignition control running. It has a very simple script with 12 events on queues 1 through 12 on rail 1 on ID or slave 5. I'm going to start up the module. It has recalled this as ID 3, and again after 10 seconds it will auto advance into safe mode. The script that is firing ID 5 or slave 5 is going to be loaded into this module. I've selected the interface 5 in pyro ignition control, and I'm sending that to this module. This is the only module connected to the computer. With the script loaded into the module, it is auto-identified as ID 5 based on what I selected on the computer. You can see the script is loaded. It says PRG here for program. It shows events on all 12 queues of rail 1. To recap, the new 6.5B firmware comes with 3 new functions: safe mode rather than test mode, module ID memory, and auto identification. Again, this module here, it's not connected to a network right now. I don't have the remote on. It's gone into safe mode. This has a program loaded into it. When we loaded the program, it auto-identified it from module 3 to module 5 based on what was selected in the script in pyro ignition control. And the modules now also have module ID memory. When you manually select the ID, it will recall that ID when you power it back on. The firmware 6.5B has 2 versions. 6.5B1 or version 1 should be used for the keyed modules, and 6.5B2 or version 2 should be used with the push button modules. Updating the firmware is very straightforward, and I'll provide a link with more details in the description. But you simply connect your module to your computer with the USB cable. Do not have any scripting software loaded like pyro ignition control. Shut that down. Hold down the blue button and turn on the module. The computer will recognize it as a hard drive. There will be a firmware file in that drive. You simply delete it and copy the firmware file for 6.5B1 or B2. And then once it's loaded in on the computer, you simply turn it off, unplug it, and turn it back on. We now have 6.5B1 firmware loaded into this module. The previous 6.3F1 that I've been using has been working flawlessly, but if you'd like to, you can update your modules to include these additional features. I hope you found this useful.